David Bowie.
It's a cracker.
Be My Wife off Low.
Very good indeed.
Yeah.
Rick, you know my frustration with the homeless?
Yeah.
You know they wind me up. Walking through Soho last night, I saw a homeless fella reading a book.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, if he's got the wherewithal to read a book,
Yeah.
right, he's obviously, you know, he wants to keep himself occupied, his mind educated.
Yeah.
My point is, why not, instead of reading a book, have a quick look through the job vacancies section of the Evening Standard, or maybe just take the time to fill in some kind of application form for, you know, maybe, you know,
So
a job or
you're
something like
confusing
that.
there was is the ability to read with the ability to house yourself.
Well, no, because what I'm saying is, it seems to me he's obviously got a certain, you know, grasp psychologically of, you know, his where
They're
he's
not
like-
mental people who haven't got
Well,
houses.
a lot of them are, Rick. I've seen
a lot
them
of them
dancing
have-
and shouting and screaming, you know, and pissing in doorways and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
going
again, you're
crazy.
confusing homelessness with trampiness.
Well, again, you know,
Some
Rick,
people just have
listen,
left home and they haven't got a...
Gervais, I'm not a sociologist.
No.
Sorry if I can't spot all the clever distinctions that
Yeah.
a trained expert such as yourself can.
Well-
all I know is, there was a fella reading a book.
Well, you know the ones that have got beards and
Right.
sing little tunes and they
They're my
smell of
favourite.
piss.
They're my favourite. They are
Right?
brilliant.
Yeah,
They are
and
funny.
they're drinking special brew.
Yeah.
Especially the one. That's an alcoholic tramp,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
You know
They're
the ones
funny.
that sit with a dog or sell big issue.
Mm-hmm.
They just haven't got their own place.
Right.
Do you see?
Okay. Well, again, I mean, because it is tricky finding a place, I know, because I had to move house recently, and it's a nightmare. I had to get, like, estate agents on it, and I had to go and see a load of places, and I was doing a job as well, you know, I still managed to fit it in. This guy's just lounging around on the street,
Yeah.
so I'm surprised
He should be able
can't
to find
the time-
loads of places to live.
I'm surprised he can't find the time to visit a couple of different residences.
Yeah.
Because there's some pretty cheap ones, you know, if you go kind of a bit farther out of London. Maybe it's because he wants to live in the Soho area, and frankly, it's expensive.
What I'm confused about is the number of homeless people that recognise me and say they'll enjoy The Office.
Hmm.
They've got to be watching it through Dixon's window.
I think that's probably demographic that's sort of hung over from some of your previous TV work.
The 11 o'clock show.
Yeah, you know, or stuff like that.
The
or,
ones that used to
the
set
track
fire
out,
to
yeah, exactly.
tramps and the French for me.
Exactly, yeah. Some of the weirdos.
sure.
Or maybe sort of people who watched, you know, have watched the show and then have fallen on hard times since then, I don't know. Unless it's not necessarily linked. I
No,
mean,
I wouldn't have thought so. Carl's lost in this conversation. Carl, are we boring you then?
No, it's just, I don't know, it's a bit tight, innit?
What?
Because it's like, I sometimes think it could have been me. When I see homeless people and that,
Yeah.
I just think, you know, I nearly killed a man once. It could have totally changed my life.
Whoa,
You want to slow down there. Just want to back up for a second. Just back
What?
up for a second.
No,
You
like
killed a man.
that time when I was in Wales, right, and I picked up a big piece of slate and chucked it off the cliff,
Oh, yeah,
right,
yeah.
and it nearly hit a fella.
Yeah.
Right, in that split second, if he would have decided to sort of go and pick up a shell that was closer to the sea, it could have hit him,
Yeah.
and it would have killed him, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sat here today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's just all about luck, innit?
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, don't know, that's about it, really. That's
That's the point. That's the political.
What was the
sociological
point again? That you're there for the
Well,
grace
it's
of
just-
God.
Yeah, no, he's saying, you know, you should count our blessings because, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah,
you never
sure,
know what's around the corner.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
what-
if
that's what I'm
Carl hadn't
saying.
met us, he'd still be in that little room making jingles. Now, he is a respected household name.
Do you think he packed the book before he left home to become homeless? He thought, right, I'm gonna need the clothes, I'm gonna need the cigarettes, I'm gonna need the dog and the piece of string, and I probably gonna need some reading literature as well, because I'm gonna get pretty bored, like, just sitting in the street
Yeah.
begging all day.
Do you maybe it's
So
one of
maybe
these-
I should take, I want to catch up on, some of the stuff I haven't read, you know.
Or maybe it's one of those themed holidays. You know those trendy middle class people?
Right.
They go on like the adventure holidays and danger holidays. Maybe the latest one amongst sort of like yuppie types
Yeah.
is homeless holidays.
Exactly, yeah.
They pay like £10,000.
Exactly.
And they really
They get a
the
little area of
experience.
sort of the streets of Soho.
And people come up to them and abuse them.
Yeah.
They're all
Chat
paid.
with
They're
them,
all
yeah,
actors.
yeah. They get beaten up at night when they're sleeping under a bridge.
They you know, they get to try a really safe sort of form of heroin.
Sure, yeah. That sounds brilliant. Now that's worth marketing,
Themed
Rick.
holidays.
Themed holidays like that. You can have homeless.
Yeah.
You can have, like, rent boy holidays. Find out what it's like to be a rent boy for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then they have to
And make a little bit of money on the
They have
side.
to wean them off it.
Exactly,
At the
yeah.
end, they go, no, don't keep sucking it.
You can stop
You're finished now. You're a bank manager again. I've just got the taste for it, to be honest. Well,
Can that happen? No, it's worth knowing if that is a possibility.
Carl's worried. What? We haven't said anything.
Haven't said anything. We're just
We
talking
haven't
about
said
possible
anything
holidays for
wrong,
people to
Carl.
have.
There's to be no complaints. We haven't said anything. The words suck, as far as I can work out. No, It's not a banned word on the radio.
Is it Rockbusters time?
Okay. Yeah, Rockbusters.
Well, let's play a tune, then we'll come back with Rockbusters.
What do you want
Are
to
we
play?
going to hear your mum's before we have
Best
yours?
holiday I've ever had.
I'll get a taste for it. That's a new American band called My Morning Jacket from the Sweat Bees EP. That's called Lowdown.
Like that.
Yeah, nice.
It's good, yeah. I brought in some adverts, my favourite adverts to play.
Really?
Yeah, they're all new ones as well.
We got those now? Can we hear them?
Do you want to do them now, or keep them listening and
do
play them later?
No, do them now.
Yeah.
Oh, there they are good.
Ready? XFM.
XFM indeed, Steve.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just fiddling around here.
What are you looking at?
Well, I'm just looking at some of the emails, and if I can find it, I've got an absolute treat from you.
Go on.
Dickie Anderson.
Is he,
Anders, he's emailed in again.
Richard Anderson, our biggest fan.
Biggest fan. He said, Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in recently, only I've been busy watching a puddle evaporate. Glad to hear you haven't tinkered with the show's winning formula by trying to introduce any quality into it. That's from Richard Anderson. So, good to have Dickie Anderson listening again. Because he just keeps us on our toes, you know.
Yeah.
And good work, Rich. Thanks for that.
I wonder what he looks like.
Dickie Anderson. I bet he's a good-looking guy. For some reason, I've always imagined him as being slightly older, with maybe a beard.
Oh no,
You know what I mean? Like
I
a
think
kind
of
of-
him. I think of him sort of cords and now and sweater.
Definitely chords.
I think he looks like maybe the Proclaimers.
Yeah, but
Right.
again, with a beard or at least a moustache.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm seeing some kind of facial hair.
And he's sort of like he's sort of he likes the Cure and the Swiss Nut, but he snarls at everything. He thinks everything's puerile.
Yeah.
I bet he prefers Radio 5.
Do you think Radio 5?
Yeah. 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
4.
I bet he's a real music snob as well. I bet there's certain bands, it's like rubbish. The Blazing Squad, rubbish. All pop music, rubbish. Britney Spears, rubbish.
Is this defamation of character?
He's slagged you off enough times, Rick, and the show. I don't know.
And I'm only saying it's my opinion. I
Exactly.
imagine. So
Yeah, I mean,
you
we
know.
don't know. I mean, you know, you could be a lovely guy.
To be honest, I'm getting to like him.
What I like about Richard is he's willing to say what he thinks.
Well, it's more than that.
He's a bit like Eminem.
No, it's more than that. He actually hits on the truth too often
Yeah.
for my liking.
Yeah, well, that's-
I mean, this is a shoddy show with very, very little to offer.
You got to remember though, it is a bronze-winning show. We did win a bronze award at the Sonys last year. One of the most coveted of the awards.
Yeah, yeah.
bronze.
In my opinion, the bronze is slightly better than the gold.
Well, a lot of people don't win the bronze. Rick. You got to remember that there's not many people who
you see,
win the bronze.
gold, just, you know, gold's got no intrinsic value. It's just a currency, and in my opinion, bronze is better.
Yeah,
In a way. Carl, Rockbusters, you must, Carl.
Yeah, no,
Listen.
we did get a bronze, but this year we introduced Rockbusters. Things will be changing. So,
Hey, we didn't introduce Rockbusters, Carl. Please don't tar us with that brush.
Yeah,
you introduced
and also, do you remember the show that got that bronze was the show with the complaint that was upheld by the radio authority?
Was it really?
Yeah, the show that got the award and was nominated was the one with the only upheld complaint we've ever had.
Do you think if we hadn't discussed that particular subject for quite as long, we could have got the silver?
I think it was the mention of, and I say this meaning male birds, of all the cocks.
Right.
Yeah, but do you think the Sony committee was going, I enjoyed the show, if they hadn't mentioned cocks, meaning birds,
Yeah, the birds, yeah.
I'd have given it the silver.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Carl getting nervous.
Rockbusters then.
Yeah.
Chance to win all that stuff Steve was talking about before. We give initials and a cryptic clue, and it's a band. And there's 3 of them, and you email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want some of my mums?
Well, I think before you give us your own, we should hear your mum's, just to sort of set the tone and for people to get their heads around the whole
She
idea.
sent some more, they're still not that up to scratch. First one, this group are nice on toast.
Marmalade?
Jam.
Yeah.
Which one?
Jam.
Okay. Marmalade would have worked.
Marmo's just as good, yeah.
This man liked his wine.
This man liked his wine.
Dean Martin.
What?
So no cryptic clue, just a man who drinks.
Yeah. But like, isn't there like a myriad of rock
I
stars
was
and pop
thinking
stars who
it.
like booze?
I love that's his wine!
I don't think anyone would have ever got that.
That's fantastic! This man liked his wine, Dean Martin. This man liked his golf. Clubby chip face, no, Bunker Smith. Bing Crosby, yeah. He liked his golf. Yeah, that's genius. This man liked his wine.
Just a couple more. Hope you're not speeding when you meet these. The police.
Oh, it's great.
And,
Oh.
see any other good ones? Sounds like these lads work for the hospital.
The porters.
Say that again?
Sounds like these lads work for the hospital. Jerry and the pacemakers.
Right.
So we'll
Carl, I have to say, if there was ever, in the future, any doubt that you were your mother's son, that would pay that. Believe me, you are a chip off the old block.
Okay, well let's so we have a little record and then educating Ricky and Rockbusters. So the show really.
you know, speaking of like weird stuff and that, I've got a new.
Well, we weren't, but go on.
No, got a new book. Do you know I had that Freaks book, Top 50 Freaks? Got a new one sent to me.
Really?
Yeah, and do you know like everything normally has a name. So like if it's the two-headed fella, you know, they're all nicknames like that, aren't they?
They've got two nicknames, I imagine.
But this new book I've got, right, on the cover of this one, it's got like a woman with three breasts, right? And she's called the three-breasted woman, as you'd expect. The one face.
Why is she posing nude though? That's what I want to know.
Tart.
Well, she looked happy. And there was a fella with like one face but two bodies.
Doing one face but two bodies.
One face, two bodies.
What do you mean
So
one
it's weird.
face, two bodies?
Surely
know.
you one head, two bodies.
Ed as well, but it was mainly the face that was weird because he looked fed up.
What are you talking about? How
What
can
are you
have a
talking
face
about?
without a head?
How can you have? What do you mean? How did it join to the neck?
No, it did have a head, but the fact is, it was weird that it had one face to me.
What do you mean?
Well,
if you
of
got
course
one
he had-
head, you'd
yeah.
have one face.
Yeah, I know, but it was the fact that he had one face and two bodies that I didn't think.
But
one
why do
head-
you keep saying one face and two bodies as
Why
opposed
not
to
one
one
head?
head and two bodies? We're all the man with one face.
Yeah, but now I've got one body.
Yeah, well, surely he's the man with two bodies then. Again, the description.
Roll up, see the man with one face.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So it's full of stuff like that, right? And what I'm saying is that fella, you know, the one-faced man, the three-breasted woman.
He wouldn't be known as the one-faced man, is what I'm saying.
Well, they've all-
That
they all-
isn't the peculiar thing about him.
Yeah, well, they all had names like that. But
Right.
there was one thing in it that didn't even have a nickname. It was so weird.
What do you mean?
It just said unidentified.
What does it look like?
Sort of testicles for eyes. That's. It just reminded me when you.
What do you mean
strange.
testicles fries?
And what is it? Do they have a normal body?
I didn't even look at that.
Oh,
No,
so
that's what I'm saying though. You're attracted to the oddness of the thing, and that's what I was saying about Warren when he walks in.
Warwick.
You know, it'll be odd for a minute, and then I'm sure
For him it will be, yeah.
He'll get used to you.
I've got my head round it a bit more, and the way that there's loads of people in the world, and yet you don't see people with like dangly eyes more often. It amazes me.
I love the fact that he's amazed by not seeing freaks.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He's walking down the street going, oh, everyone's got one head. That's weird.
Suzanne, see any dangly eyes today? No, me neither.
It's weird, isn't it? What's going on in the world?
Oh, he's only got a reason down.
That jingle there signifying, of course, once again, another reading from the Diary of Karl Pilkington. Now, of course, for those of you who have not been keeping abreast of Karl's medical complaints, just bring us up to speed, Karl. You had to go into hospital because previously you'd had...
I've been in and
treatment.
out. Honestly, I've been in and out of that hospital just with kidney problems, really painful and what have you. And
He had kidney stones, all right.
No, but
sorted.
seriously.
I had a bit of a lie-in today because I have to get up early for my operation tomorrow. Not only have I got to have tubes shoved up my knob, but I also have to get up at 5:50. Suzanne said I could have what I want for my last dinner. It's not your last dinner, you're going for an operation.
Yeah, but you can't take things for granted these days.
Oh, for
I had shepherd's pie and peas. Suzanne made it from scratch. As nice as it was annoying. Because making stuff from scratch means loads of pots, and it's my job to do the washing up. So much as the food was nice, there was loads of pans and that. People who get their last dinner on death row don't have to wash up. Got up at 5:55. You were supposed to be getting up at 5:50 on the other page. You were 5 minutes late getting up.
He's often late.
Often late. Got to the hospital and had to wait in the waiting room. There was another 9 people in there waiting to be sorted. I got called in. They sat me on a bed and took all my details down. 5 minutes later, I'd been knocked out. I got woke up when they were ripping a pipe out of my throat. I felt more rough this time. The doctor came to see me and said he couldn't find a stone, so I must have passed it. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, we filled your kidney with water and expanded it, and there was no hiding place." I sat in the recovery room for an hour while they found me a bed. One of the fellows who was sat in the room with me this morning got wheeled in. They couldn't wake him up. All the nurses were laughing because he didn't want to wake up. I bet they were laughing at me when I was in the theatre. Someone told me they totally strip you when they're operating. I would have looked like the alien on the Boswell incident.
Boswell! Boswell!
It's quite a nice analogy if it weren't for the fact that you said Boswell.
It's
The Roswell incident. Didn't sleep much through the night because there was a 60-year-old fella shouting at the nurse about his pillows. I don't think I slept through a full hour with one thing or another going on. My bed was next to the toilet, so I kept hearing the flush.
How do they sleep in hospitals, though? They wake you up to give you fucking sleeping pills and things, don't they? How do you sleep in there?
I don't know what it is. There's no air. There was an old fella across from me who kept breaking wind. He didn't even try and cover it. He was just of that age where he didn't care. Just like, that's what I do. I'm in the hospital, leave me alone.
What do you mean?
Just, I don't know what was wrong with him. I talked to him because at first I felt sorry for him. I was a little bit like, you know, he's had no visitors. No one's calling him up, so I'll talk to him. But then he got that familiar with me that he'd just be doing it whilst I'm chatting to him. Just like he's my granddad or something. It's just like, oh, that's what he does. It's like, well, I'm ill as well. Stop doing that. Honestly, unbelievable. He didn't even try and cover it with a cough. It was just like, that's...
With a cough! How would you cover it with a cough?
just non-stop.
Got home and sat down. My pains are coming back, but the doctor said this would happen and that my insides are still in shock, so I need to take it easy. It's 9 o'clock. I'm in agony. I can't do the diary for the rest of the day.
Jesus.
So you may as well just tell us then what happened.
Suzanne just got frustrated with me because I was rolling about on the floor and she was trying to watch Arthur. Right? So that was on the other night.
I thought it was when you lodge her.
So,
And she said, look, if you're in pain, do something. She said, you know...
you went and got a cold plate.
Yeah. No, use an ashtray. Plates are for liver damage.
Got in a taxi. He filled up on the way, which was annoying.
He didn't.
That
He
is
did.
cheeky.
That really, I mean, he could
On
see
the
us
way
in
to the
pain.
hospital.
So,
Because he's not an ambulance driver.
so anyway, he gets us there and he doesn't charge us, which is pretty decent.
Oh, that's alright, yeah.
So this gay fella came through.
How
And,
do you know he was gay?
just the way he was. I'm not having a go. He was a good fella. Do you know what I mean?
A
He was-
doctor, you mean?
No, he was a nurse.
Right.
And he came through and just sort of went, oh, how are you? And I was like, oh, I've had better days. So he got
As
me
you
on a-
mentioned in the diary, I remember the first time when I came here, they said the nurse might put a tablet up my arse. I thought the chances of that happening had just increased.
Oh, God!
Yeah, but I would have let him do it. Honestly, I was that sort of out of it. That
Of course you'd let him do it. He's a qualified nurse.
No, but the way I am now, say if it was just a tablet for sorting out my blood pressure, and I walked in there and he went, oh, hello, and he said, yeah, let's pop that. I'd go, hang on a minute. but what I mean is that night, I would have just let him put 3 up, honestly. It's just weird, isn't it, how your body just goes, let him get on with it, and you trust anyone, don't you? When you're in that much pain and you need
And
help.
they're a qualified nurse, yes. Carl, of course, has written a poem about the experience entitled My Ward.
All I've done here, I've been through I don't know what the word is, a bad experience.
Trauma.
A trauma, yeah, I've been through a load of trauma. So I'm just finishing it off with a little sort of picture for people.
Go on then.
Me, a Chinese fella, and an old bloke who looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't know what was wrong with him, but breaking wind was the symptoms. No one visited him or called him. He seemed quite lost to me. As well as wind problems, he had a colostomy.
Back.
When I left, I said, see you to the old man. Turned out the other fella wasn't Chinese. He was from Japan. I never found out what was up with him. You've got a little picture there, haven't you, of me sat in my ward. I'm sat there with that fella who I didn't talk to, the old fella who had wind problems. And that's what a poem is, isn't it?
But the detail about you thought he was Chinese and he turned out to be Japanese, how is that evocative? That's just a piece of misinformation.
It's just
I like it.
I imagine a lot of people make
I
the
like
same
it, because
mistake.
you know why? It's like, he even makes digressions within his poem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, he could have gone back and erased that, but he didn't. He left that digression in, and I think that's great. Athlete, West Side. I still like that one.
It's a good track.
Yeah, I was worried it's a bit novelty, it would go off very quickly, but it's good.
No, it's not bad at all.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Steve.
Well, we were talking about the news just now, and there was a story I heard in the week. I think it was on the radio, and I don't know all the details. But what I heard was that a number of, I think it was Falkland, maybe Gulf War veterans, were, I think, suing or complaining to the government because they wanted compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that if you're in the army and you're a soldier, a certain degree of trauma is kind of inevitable. I mean, after all, if you're any good at your job, you are going to see people getting killed. So I don't understand what the ins and outs of it are. I don't know why.
No, right, when he came back and Tony Blair met him and go, alright, well not really, no. Go on, what's the matter? Well, if there was people shooting at us and everything, it was all muddy. Well, calm down, don't cry. Well, I will.
There was a drill sergeant just kept shouting, saying, "Look at you, stupid boy, where's this
he's
gun's
got
not
train,
clean?" I
hasn't
just
he?
cleaned the gun and it was fine, and now he's telling me to clean it again.
Yeah, the boots, they were shiny.
fine, he was
Well, he's
shiny.
got to do that, it's more
His
distant.
neck was as big as his head.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what they, you know.
I
you
don't know what
want-
the ins and outs of it are, but
what you got to do is make sure you know what you're going into. That's what I do. You got to check the small print. So if I was, you know, going over to like the Falklands or you know the Gulf, I'd put my hand up and go, will it be horrible? I go, you look back, yes. Will it be horrible? It will be horrible. Yes, it will be horrible. There will be shooting and lots of death and everything. I go, right. I'm not going to go. And they go,
Exactly.
okay then. Okay.
that should be fine, yeah.
Should be fine. Yeah, just like that. Is anyone else scared about this? Pretty much all of us. Okay, then we won't send anyone then.
Exactly.
My brother went into the army, right? Because he couldn't get a normal job, and my dad said, you know, if you don't get a job by such a date, that's it, son. You're going in the army. And then, so when was the Falklands? Was it about
81.
Right? And he joined back in like 81 or something. And he I don't know, he was in Aldershot or something.
Oh yeah.
And he wrote back to my mum saying, you know, what a bad time to join, bad time in this. So she wrote.
What bad time? Join, that's so sweet, Carl, isn't it? That's like, dear Dad. Yeah, well done.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I was on the dole, that's for sure. Thank you for joining. A month before the Belgrano.
Anyway,
go on.
My mum called up, spoke to the sergeant, and said, "Can you leave him out of this one?
Can you leave him out of this one? What, the Falkland War?
He's only just joined," and she called him Chuck, which he got done for. Like, she's one of them, I think it's a northern thing, like saying, "How are you, Chuck?"
Yeah.
And she called the sergeant Chuck, and the sergeant said to my brother, "Your mum, you know, she's called up and asked if you can not go," which, of course, you know, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But can you
What?
tell
What do
her-
you mean? Why did the sergeant even entertain this?
Well,
Pilkington, come here. Your mum's been giving me a bit of earache. Now listen, tell her I've told you, but can you call her, because she called me Chuck and everything. Can you call her and say you don't mind? Well, not really. Oh, please, because I've promised her say you want to go. No, please, say you want to go. Why was he entertaining this phone call?
probably because he was new.
What?
Because he was new to the army, I suppose.
Who? No, I mean the
your brother.
sergeant.
I don't know, maybe they do that.
So what happened? He didn't go in the end?
So he didn't go, no.
You can't do it.
that's ludicrous.
I love it though. We went over the top. Pilkington,
I-
I've got a note. Yeah. Is this really your mum? Yeah. Okay. No, this seems to be in order.
Because I noticed it says, I do not want to go into the army, I don't want to go and fight, and it's crossed out and it says, mum says don't
Yeah.
go. Now, you didn't write this yourself?
No, my mum wrote this. Okay.
definitely
Pilkington,
wrote this yourself.
Your excuse. You're going to have to fill envelopes.
No, I'm sure if he was needed, he would have had to go, but I think they made a bit of a special effort. They sort of said, oh.
Well, it wasn't conscription anyway. Oh no, obviously.
But
he
were
was in
the other
army,
soldiers
wasn't
going
he?
around just going,
Pilkington.
No, he ended up being a mechanic in there, and he got kicked out for going for a packet of fags in a tank.
what?
Now wait a minute. Do you mean he nipped down the shops
Yeah.
in a tank?
Yeah.
I don't believe that, Carl, you've made
Honest
that
to
up.
God. That, and he went off with the sergeant's wife. So that didn't help, and he ended up getting kicked out.
Sorry, your brother's a genius.
I love this. First of all, he gets a call from his mum, go and let him up, and he goes, oh God. Then he goes, where's Pilkington? His mum's on the phone. Where is he? He's near your house, Sergeant. Near my house? Well, why is... No reason. Well, when he comes back, when he's finished, tell him his mum called. And can he get me a packet of fags? Tell him to walk this time. This is ludicrous.
So the sergeant found out that he was sleeping with his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Did your mum phone out and say, let him off?
Let him off this time. Can he... yeah. That's fantastic.
But he misses it. I mean, I haven't seen him for about 11 years. But ever since he came out, he's just kept getting into trouble and that. And the army, you know, people slag it off, but I think if you're a certain type of person, it's good for you.
It didn't straight him out, did it?
No.
He was going down the shops in a tank, he was shagging someone behind their back.
It's really weird. It's like back then, he was like a proper adult, and he had a house, and he collected crystal with his wife and that. And now, he hasn't got any of that.
Has he got the wife?
No.
Has he got the crystal?
Don't think he has.
And he hasn't got the house.
Seriously, I haven't seen him for about 11 or 12 years.
Oh,
so I haven't even spoken
it always Carl's stories always start off nice and funny, and then they just leave me empty and slightly depressed. I don't know whether to hug him or shoot him, put him out of his misery. Can we take Carl to the... phone in if you think I should take Carl to the vet and have him put down. Because it's just too stressful. Hyde's main offender, XFM 104.9. Wow. It's that time in the show where I test Carl on his...
homework.
Yeah, for the week. History. The re-education of Karl Pilkington. As you know, we found out last week that he'd taken one GCSE and he'd got an E, and it was history.
Do you know, Steve, I haven't told you this, went shopping on Sunday, buy some new jeans, was in a shop, saw an old lad who I haven't seen for about 2.5 years, went, "You alright mate, how are you doing?" First thing he said, "Sorry to hear about your exam results."
God. Had he listened to the show, or someone had just told him?
Yeah, he was on a train listening to it on the way to a football match or something.
He knew that you were on the show, did he? He was already listening?
First thing he said,
Wow.
"So sorry about your exam results."
Haven't people have been coming up to you in the station going, "You alright,
alright.
do you want to talk about it, or...?"
God.
I know.
Well, you did take it pretty badly for a 29-year-old man.
Just a bit of a shock, because it annoyed me that...
It wasn't a shock. You knew you hadn't got any.
No, I thought I'd have got a bit more than that. I wasn't expecting, you know...
But you didn't even think you took history, so that must have been a bonus.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend said.
Yeah.
Well,
But didn't she say something quite philosophical, which was like, you know, you didn't even have an E this morning?
Yeah, she said yesterday, you know, you didn't have anything
Yeah.
today,
Exactly.
which was good.
Yeah.
Teenage Fan Club. Oh, they're a good band,
They are a good band.
XFM 104.9. So, well, we're nearly there. So will your girlfriend be proud of you now? You performed a PhD graduate
It's a bit
there,
annoying, because she's not in London today, she's in Sunderland or something, or Newcastle,
right?
working.
So she won't know what your greatest triumph. She saw last week's and you got an E in history, and now this week you come through
Yeah.
with some great praise that Mrs. Matthews never, you know, laid upon
Even
you, did
looked
she?
at. No.
No, just said you won't be a high flyer. Hey? You've shown them, haven't you?
You never know. I mean, I had mates who, like, you know, my mate Colin Makin, who
Sure.
did the disco with me.
Pilkins making music, yeah.
Pilkey's making music.
Yeah.
He was dead brainy. I don't think he's up to much these days.
Sure.
You
Just-
can't plan it.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
Well, I mean, you can do, there's a certain amount of planning you can do. I mean, driving a tank down to the shops with some fags,
Yeah.
never going to mean you're a high flyer. You know?
And that woman who you picked up in your black cab, she's in a circus now and she
Yeah,
can
happy.
fly, which is good. Am I confusing that with a film? You went to see a film this week, didn't you?
Mm.
What did you
did you
see?
The Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
have a little argument? What was the argument about? Did you have an argument with your girlfriend or something? Because of
Well, the history thing took over last weekend, to be honest, when you found out my results. That was like the talking topic of most of the weekend. And,
why? What did she
you know,
say?
you brought it on yourself, you know, why didn't you take it serious, you know?
Was she annoyed or upset?
Well, she just sort of said, you can learn. Look, you learned Rasputin.
Mm.
You know, if only you did
You've
that
done
at
that.
school.
You've done
Do you know what I mean?
Rasputin.
She said, you can do it if you're told to. She said, you know, it's only because Ricky's told you to read the book that you're reading it.
Does she think we're sort of like taskmasters?
Does she think we bully you?
Nah, she knows it's just a laugh.
Yeah. What did you tell your parents about your...
Nope.
No. Never?
Because they never even questioned where my results were, so I don't want to tell them that, you know, I didn't get any.
No. How did they do it at school?
Didn't have them back then, did they?
Right. When was that, Carl? The Middle Ages?
I don't know. Like I say, back then it wasn't about getting results and that, was it? It was just about learning trades. I mean, my dad, right, he can, like, put windows in his house,
Yeah.
do plumbing.
He should. It's dark, isn't it? He's done that first of all. Right.
So he can do what? He's got a multitude of different
Yeah,
jobs.
he can do all sorts, do you know what I mean? If there's a problem in my flat, I can call him up and say, you know, this isn't working, what should I do? And he'll say, like...
Is that our brain surgeon?
He'll say, oh, fix it.
Sure. So what about Monsters Inc.? What did you make of it?
It's alright. It is a kid's film. It sort of annoyed me.
Is it?
Okay.
I was having, like...
what gave that away, do you think? Was it the songs? Was it the animation?
Yeah, the fluffy little things that squiggled round on the screen for an hour and a half.
It is annoying because, like, there's kids everywhere, and kids don't watch films, do they?
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're messing around.
I don't know why they make kids films.
And you
to
can't-
be honest, it's mental.
Can't concentrate properly when you've got kids, you know,
Screaming,
making
shouting.
noise around you and that.
Yeah.
So I'd say, my little review, wait until it comes out on DVD.
What a great review that would be! Wouldn't that be great? Film 2002.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross going, well, I don't want to give it away. Wait till it comes out on DVD.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but not giving it away, it's just that you can't watch it properly when there's kids screaming around you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
What are you looking forward to this week? You going to go and see anything?
Just been talking to Ricky now, because my missus is away. I'll probably get out a DVD tonight.
Yep.
Rounders.
Oh, right, okay.
I thought you might like that.
And if you can get, I mean, if I can get you tickets, say in the stalls or in a box for the stage version of Midnight Express, would you be up for that?
it's on ice.
I think it's the final year, isn't it?
It's lovely. It's Midnight Express on ice.
Yeah.
And it's a musical as well.
They're on roller
Do
skates.
you have any dope under your jacket? No.
Yeah. It is
And
well worth hiding out.
it's great. John Hurt is actually in this version as well, which is fantastic.
It is
Who played
brilliant.
the Elephant Man. So it's all comes, the universe all comes together.
Have you ever seen the stage version of The Elephant Man?
No.
You'd love that.
Yeah.
Who's in that? I have seen a clip of it. Who plays him?
I think they got a real guy with elephantitis.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you finishing on?
Let's have a final song for the ladies. It's from the album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me by The Cure, and it's The Beautiful Catch. See you next
Goodbye.
week.
See you next week, everybody. Bye bye.
Carl's look at him. Carl looks at you like a cat.
Yeah.
Whenever we leave him behind, if we don't talk like straight at him and let him see our lips moving, and it's, you know, monosyllabic and very sort of look, he's lost in that conversation now. He just drifted off, didn't you, Carl?
No, I just was also thinking on animals and that. Something else I was going to use
Go on.
was
This isn't a radio show, is it? I just suddenly caught myself. This is
I told
this
you
is
that. I
nothing.
told you that before. It's been bad today.
No, but I mean, it's the way, this casual way that it's like we almost have no regard for our listener. And I'm not proud of that. I just don't know what to do about it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to do this properly. I mean, we're just chatting here. I mean, it's only Anderson who's seen through us. And that surprises me, that more people haven't. I mean, what are the figures like? Do people listen to this show?
I'll find out for you.
You keep saying that.
But yeah, there's this parrot. And apparently it lives in...
Rick, it's unique, if nothing else. I mean, when you wake up with Woken tomorrow, you're not even going to hear him start a line when there was this parrot.
Go on, there was this parrot, yeah, go on.
And it can talk and that. Someone's obviously, you know, taught it how to speak and that. And it flew away. And it's living in this church. Right? And people are at the church doing hymns and that. And then
Trouble's brewing.
in between the
If that
hymns...
parrot was owned by an old miner who used to swear a lot,
Yeah.
Well...
then the vicar
Think
is
what
going
was
to be really annoyed. That vicar, that vicar's going to go on.
I just hope he stays quiet, Rick, during the vicar's sermons.
Yeah, go on.
Have you read it?
No, go on. Have you read it?
No,
go on,
no,
go on.
because that's what happens, right?
on, tell us, Carl.
During the hymns, it's sort of effing and jeffing and stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone's like going, oh, you know, it's quite funny, really, you know, it doesn't know what it's doing. Everyone's having a laugh.
Yeah.
But it's causing a havoc at funerals.
When did this happen?
Not years ago.
John was a much-loved man. He was a wanker.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was another
What
story.
can you say about Uncle John?
Bollocks.
Oh, Carl, I love the fact that when you look at things, you go, that's interesting. A parrot swears at funerals.
That'd be amazing.
And it stays with you. You see, for a simple man, you retain an awful lot of knowledge. It's just all rubbish.
It's all
Do you know what I mean? If you just replaced all this rubbish with good stuff, you'd be an intellectual.
Yeah.
Really. Because, I mean, your retention is fantastic.
So
Did I lose you again there, did I?
So
was it the word retention?
we've still got Wash Up With You.
yeah. Should we play a record and do Wash Up With You?
Yeah, we'll play a bit of Aqualung then.
Alright, that's Aqualung. Good time's gonna come, innit? Right, Carl, come on in, educating Ricky. So, don't let the cat out of the bag, that's where that comes from. Comes from a crafty butcher. Right, go on in.
So the next little headline is Wash Up With You.
Wash up with you, go on.
You want to know about that?
Yes.
It's a survey that they did. This week.
They.
Yeah, some university did some survey.
Brilliant.
Did a world test on washing up.
Yeah.
And each country were given 140 pots to clean. Brits were the quickest. Yeah. Turkey were the slowest at washing up.
The Turks.
It's not because the little fellas that work in the kitchens with no, is it?
They can't reach.
Spain were the cleanest, and the Germans were pretty good as well. So
I don't know where to start with this. Honestly, Steve, I don't know where to start with that. Look at his face.
It was really light, right? We've had the parrot, right? These are things that I found. Found the parrot. Right, I've told you about the dog in the car wash.
Right, you didn't tell me about that. You said there's a car wash for a dog. That's what you told me.
Yeah,
the
but
parrot, you said there's a parrot. What? It's a problem at funerals.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. Do you understand?
And
they used to eat cats.
what else have we got? There's an elephant in India with sore feet.
Why?
There's an elephant in India with sore feet.
No, I'm interested. Why?
Tap
dancing.
Why?
I didn't write that
He's
much down
trying to
about
break
it.
Roy Castle's record. He's still going.
Go on, what is it? What is it? Think.
It's an elephant, and it was really old. It was about 76.
Right.
And it had sore feet because it's old, and
They don't make stair
and
lifts
the
that
roads,
big, do they?
roads are bad and that.
Yeah, go
so they said, what are we going to do? And the town was like, oh, you know, we're used to seeing it around. It's part of the thing, you know. We don't want it to have sore feet. So they got some slippers made for it. And it had like a picture of the elephant looking happy wearing some slippers.
I love him! I love Carl, his world! Think of it, where did you see this picture?
That was on the internet.
Right.
That's a lesson, though, for any elephants listening. You know, don't wear stilettos to work every day,
No.
because it can do your feet in.
So that
But
it's
don't elephants have really bad memories?
no, they're really good memories.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good then. No, I just thought they'd forget where they put them. I thought there was something about elephants having bad memories and that.
It goes on, where's my slippers?
Yeah.
I'm sure I left them by the test.
So, sorry, there's an elephant walking around wearing slippers?
Yeah, that's in
What kind
India.
of slippers? Those sort of old man ones with the sort of checkered
well, round
design.
ones, I imagine.
Yeah.
Big round ones.
There was that going on.
And is it happening? Or is it happier? I mean, does it feel
Yeah,
more
it
satisfying?
looked it.
Did it look... How can you tell for elephants, please?
What else is there? There was a woman who's had a breast insured for 150 grand.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Any more information there?
What? Third party fire and theft?
Don't know, it had a picture of her with them, like, you know, out. I just thought, yeah, you should get them covered.
He's done another real joke!
Brilliant, that's a proper joke.
He's done, look at his little face, he smiles!
I'd like to see you on one of the sort of TV panel games. If they could bring back sort of celebrity squares,
Yeah.
it'd be amazing as the centre square.
Oh, that would be
Wouldn't that be
incredible.
extraordinary? Or on the countdown in Dictionary Corner.
I imagine him in Dictionary
Well, I'd
Corner.
come up with cat. If that helps at all.
Yeah. Memblant.
Yeah, what does that mean, Carl?
Just anything you want it to mean. Oh, what I've got, there's a dog that's got a cough in Singapore, because it smokes 20 a day. Right, okay, another one.
No, it was the last one in it, so
Yeah.
we'll say that the last one we've got is why don't we
Sorry, what was that? Wash up with you, that was it? But was that it? They survey of washing pots and
I
pans.
didn't understand. You said Italy were the cleanest.
No, Spain.
No, Brits were the quickest.
Yeah.
We were the quickest, but Italy was the
Spain was
cleanest.
the cleanest.
Turkey were the slowest.
Yeah.
Spain were the cleanest.
But why weren't we cleaner? Because we were washing up. Why were we not paying attention to the
We did
bits
it
of dirt
rubbish, we
whistle?
did it quick.
We did it quickly, but I don't understand what it was being rated on.
Who was doing it? Was it Lynette Newman or Ainsley Harriott?
She's quick. Both of them are quick.
Yeah.
Well, they've got like kind of loads of slaves that do it for them.
Did we use fairy liquid?
Don't know, it didn't have
Do
all
we use
that.
a whole bunch of Boy
Didn't
Scouts?
say that. Just
Like
said, it just said, you know, that.
Who had the softest hands?
volunteer for that.
Who had the softest hands?
So it didn't say, I didn't.
Why is it we don't get notified that this is taking place?
I don't know.
When I was a kid, no one ever said, you know, we need recruits because we're doing a survey on who can wash up
Yeah.
the quickest.
Are you disappointed in yourself with that one, Carl?
It is pretty dull. to be fair, and that is why we've got to bring in either con merchant or a wine merchant.
Or shut up at your face.
Yeah.
Would you be able to, if I put you on the spot in the next, sort of after the next record, would you be able to give an example of how con merchant would work? I mean, is there something you could do just to sort of experiment?
Should we play a record? Should we play a record?
I can do better than that.
What?
Ads.
Go on. Travis on XFM 104.9 on Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. We're doing Educating Ricky. Right, final one. Come on, Karl.
Right, what was it? It was, why don't they just get a diary or some paper or something to write on?
Yeah.
Because
snappy.
I couldn't think of a heading for it. It's basically,
Go on.
people who have tattoos, I've never understood it, right? That they have something put on their arm.
Right, sorry. Have we started the educate? Is this part of it? Are you educating me? This is something that will be useful in my life that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Go on then.
No, it's just that they've got a machine out, right, that does tattoos.
Tattoos.
You come up with a design you want, and you sort of this machine scans it, and you put your arm in this thing, and you press print or whatever, and then it does the tattoo on your hand or on your arm.
Like loads of little needles that follow a pattern?
Yeah,
computer,
basically, yeah.
Is it a real tattoo? It's a proper
proper one. The fella said,
well, as long as it goes out, it pierces the skin with a
I just wondered if it's one of those kind of, you know, those kind of...
No, it must be lots of little needles or a moving needle that can go
Sorry,
along
but
it.
how is this cleaned, like, in between each person?
dunno, probably, I don't know.
Well, no, as long as it's only that, if it's one needle, it's just the head, isn't it? If it's one needle that moves, does it like like loads of little...
What are we gaining from a machine doing it?
Just because you know they're not going to sort of mess it up.
But hold on, how do you keep your arm still? Because your skin moves slightly, it's the machine
It's sort
won't...
of strapped to your arm.
Right,
And
so
the
it
fella,
spreads...
the fella said that the tricky thing was in all this, it was the fact that, you know, nobody would let him test it out on anyone else, so he had to do it himself.
But did it work? Because the thing is with a tattoo artist, they can see when your skin's moved and they can see what they've done and they keep wiping it and looking, whereas a machine's just got to trust itself.
Yeah.
So, I think one needle could go wrong. If it was a lot of needles that it just came down, like, you know, 1,000 needles that was an imprint.
Yeah.
But
No,
obviously I'm asking someone who's hasn't delved any further than there's a machine that can give you a tattoo. That's all you've got at the moment, isn't it?
Well, yeah, basically.
That's all you've got.
All right. So tell me a typical bit of dialogue.
Well, we've done the breakfast scene.
Yeah,
that was dynamite.
Yeah.
That's fucking Oscar winning.
Yeah. Can we do lunch?
There may be, like, at the funeral, because even though the brain's still alive, they still have the funeral, and you can have, like, a funny bit where they stood around the grave, and, like, there's some relation there who he doesn't like, and she can start laughing, and the family are looking at her going, why is she laughing?
Yeah.
And she's sort of laughing, and he's saying something a bit rude, going, look at her head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looks like a
Stuff on the
fucking
family.
Yeah.
Little cameo for you.
Yeah.
And so you have all that, and people are sort of liking the film, thinking, oh, it's quite funny, this.
Yeah.
And then you hit them hard.
It's the most ludicrous idea for film I've ever heard. It's the maddest. Honestly, it really is the ramblings of a mental case.
Right, I have to say though, I am hooked now. I want to know what's going to happen next in the story.
Then what happens is, she hears the voice go, Leslie, where are you? Or something.
Right.
Her name's not Leslie.
No.
No.
She's thinking, who's Leslie?
Yeah.
So in her mind, she's going, who's Leslie? He's going, oh,
So he's thought, hang on, I've let something slip.
I've
here.
let something slip, so she's going, answer me.
Oh.
He goes quiet on her.
Oh.
So
He was having an affair.
this is the thing. So she's trying to hunt down
Leslie.
and
he's got to stop her thinking it.
then what happens is, I mean, you know,
Where your backs?
So he's got to hunt down Leslie.
so she's got to hunt down Leslie.
It's a woman, is it? Another Leslie, or
It's
is it a
another
bloke?
woman.
Right.
But what happens is, I mean, without ruining the end for everyone, what would sort of happen is,
Oh yeah, because we don't want to ruin it for them, because this will be filling the multiplexes in no time.
No, it's the greatest love story ever told, set in a head.
but listen, let's just get to
hang
the
on a
end.
sec though, Carl. I don't. Yeah, you've got to tell us the end. I don't think you can let people
No, come on.
listening
Come on, what's
hanging
the
on
end?
waiting for the film.
Just let your mouth talk.
Right, so what I said was, maybe, what happens is, his brain is more powerful than hers.
Right. How is there power? Why is there no power involved?
What I mean is, her brain was running the rest of her body.
Now he's
His
taken
brain,
over.
that gets more powerful and overrules her body.
Okay.
Yeah.
She then fancies Leslie.
So it's a lesbian
hold on,
film.
this is building up to a lesbian love. So what the?
Well, it's
what?
trendy, isn't it, that? So just have a bit of that at the end, and
So hold on. So he overpowers her, so she is now a lesbian. What's Leslie getting out of this? Why does Leslie think, hold on, why is my dead lover's wife coming on to me?
because this is what I'm saying to you: is relationships. It's the love of two brains.
Right, okay. Again, can anyone
the
out there, can we
strapline.
make that into it? That's a quote. The relationships is a love of two brains. Now, he's got something there. He's got something there. But my point is this. Why is Leslie suddenly turned lesbian?
Because she loves the brain.
But does she know this is Clive Warren?
Rebecca will say something now and again, like, "Oh, I like me,
Minge.
I like me food done like this or whatever," and it's all about Eve
I love
likes
my
it.
food cooked. Wait a minute, Clive Warren on this food cooked.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this bacon.
Yeah,
What
I'm
I
going
mean
to turn
is,
into a lesbian.
people
Shredded wheat.
people like what they like, and it's the same way, like I've said to you before, with someone who's been going out with a woman and then is found out that she's got a twin sister, and they divorce that first twin and go out with the other twin. It's all the same. You're after the same thing, aren't you?
Yes, but that...
When a cat dies, you buy another one. It's the same thing. You want that same.
Yeah, but you
love
don't
for
necessarily
something.
switch your sexual orientation. In the case of your twin scenario, they both look the same.
Yeah. Has there ever been one where it's a twin boy and girl? Go, well, I was going out with her, but I mean, he looks a bit like her.
Yeah. I loved boobs, now I like cock.
This is your problem. You don't know anything. And this theory about if your mouth talks enough, the brain will kick in soon. It hasn't.
I've only been camping a few times, and each time I was glad when it was over. The last time was last year in Lyme Regis.
Yeah.
When did you go camping in Lyme Regis?
Last year. It's all right, Lyme Regis, but it was all a bit of a nightmare because I was going with my mate, and he said he knew someone who knew someone who had a bit of land in the garden.
We had a bit of land in the garden.
What's the point, though, innit? You know, what's the point of camping in someone's garden where there's a sort of like a spa down the road and like a pub?
No, because you're by the sea, aren't you? It's getting away from it all, seeing the world.
It's not if you're in someone's front garden.
No, back.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's even less to see except 3 fences.
No, but it's private, isn't it? So the thing is, he said, oh, it's a great garden, the owners are away, and there's a toilet, an outside toilet that they have
Getting
for, like,
away
when they
from
have
it,
parties
yeah.
and stuff. So we get there, and this lad who knew about this bit of land,
Someone's back garden.
well, yeah, said, oh, you can't use it, they haven't gone on holiday.
So now you're stuck in the middle of a big civilised conurbation called Lyme Regis. How are you going to survive?
Well, we ended up just sort of keeping on the beach. But
Did you pitch your tent on the beach?
put the tent on the beach, we found somewhere where there was a load of rubbish. So we thought,
nice.
That's the place to go, yeah.
No,
a
well,
municipal tip.
What was it? Was it chemical waste or just like, you know...
no, just coke
just
cans and
syringes
stuff.
and,
But listen, though,
baby
you've got to
diapers,
think
true.
about that.
Rusty, what's rusty?
If there's rubbish there, it means it was a good place to camp.
Why?
Why?
Because other people have camped there.
Right.
So that's how you've got to look at it. It's a way, that's like a little tip of...
So you could have slept in a
firstly-
public lavatory.
Yeah. This one's nice. What? It's covered in shit. Means other people have had a shit here.
Welcome to our 5-star hotel. You'll notice vomit over all the fucking walls.
So that means people have had a good time here. They got right pissed up and threw their lungs up.
So that's where we put down the tent. We put down the tent there. And then what was annoying is...
He puts down the tent.
We what's her name? We
It was already up.
It was
carried
already
it all
they
the way
carried it all
from
the way
London.
there. They went, let's pack it down.
the weird thing was, as soon as we set up, some other people turned up.
Oh, that's all the rubbish tip. Holiday makers,
They started setting up their tents. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, look, there's some nappies over there.
Yeah.
Nearer the nappies.
And they offered us some sausages.
All right.
My mate said, oh, ignore them. That's like code for swingers.
What?
No!
What? So there were some people cooking some sausages,
Yeah.
saying, "Would you like the sausages? We've made too much." And you
It's
said,
just
"No,
that
that's
thing,
code
don't
for
talk
swinging."
to strangers. It's like we want to get away from it all.
Yeah.
We don't want someone, you know, it starts off with sausages, doesn't it? And then before you know
but what do these people look like?
they were about 45.
Who are they there?
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman. So what was in it for the bloke?
Some people like that, don't they?
That
I
means
don't know.
you say, right, I want the bald one, love. If it's like wife swapping, shouldn't one of you be a wife?
No, but I don't know all the rules and that. But
He's just got a real thing for fucking oranges.
And we didn't want any sausages anyway, so we just sort of
I
said,
don't believe sausages is a
Is a
code for
code.
swingers. Because eventually, how many times do they give someone sausages and they go, well, get your pants off, and they go, what do you mean, we just have some sausages? They go, oh, this isn't working, this code.
But why
we need
would
a better
they be,
code.
Why would we be being offered sausages?
Because they're nice people and they're making sausages.
Makes you wonder.
Let's not trust these people. Let's move our tent nearer to the corpse.
So yeah, that was the camping.
September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight. The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine. We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh, yeah. Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Jake has emailed in. He says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so if somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered, and that'd be the end of conversation.
What would do me head in is, does he think the same way, look the same way,
Exactly
dress
the same.
Yeah.
How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No, no, no.
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone, anywhere in the world, said anything more stupid than, how would I know which one was me?
But think about it, this other person's going, alright, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or... So, how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't
But
it?
you
how
know
we
the
meet,
truth, you idiot.
Because
How
you
would I
wouldn't-
know which one I was?
So anyway,
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you,
You could be in two places at once.
would you do stings? Would you do scams?
no, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. Again, it's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, well, you pack it in. And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two Carls.
Yeah,
He's having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean... Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little... Again... Because an owl... Do you know why an owl turns its head round? Sort of like 180 degrees?
No.
Because it can't move its eyes. Because the eyes take up the whole... It's the biggest eye in the animal kingdom. The eyes take up the whole of its skull.
Really?
Yeah, and it has to move its... Yeah.
Has it got a brain in there as well?
It's got a brain in there, yeah, above the eye. Yeah. When I say the whole of the skull...
Quite, yeah. There's also some space for the brain.
What I meant is the two diameters of the eye is the diameter of the...
You've lost me there
skull.
with diameters. And
You didn't like maths, did you?
no, don't like maths. Never understood it. Couldn't get to grips with maths. I don't know about you, Carl.
Did you do maths, Carl?
Now, how did you do in your exams on the maths? Did you do it? I bet yours was rather like my theory, which is why do you need to figure it all out when you've got a calculator?
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
I agree.
Well, let's play a record, and afterwards I'm going to be testing you on your homework this week, Carl.
Could we do White Van Man first?
We could do, just to, no, they've got to
No,
know
just to
what
remind
they're
people.
dealing with, yeah. Carl's homework was to read all about, as you know, Che Guevara.
Absolutely.
Last week he did well on Rasputin, didn't he?
Did very well on Rasputin. Yeah,
and
passed with flying marks there.
So let's have a bit of Wu-Tang, shall we?
Then let's have White Van Man. White Van Karl. Nice.
Yeah. Wu-Tang Clan there, Steve. XFM 104.9 with Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Now I just remembered something else Carl's in the week. I know it's forbidden to talk to him, but I'll tell you this. He was very excited about the Friends reunited. He was a bit nervous at first, wasn't he, last week? But he was really getting into it. And in the pub he was talking about the people. He said, I'd never go on a reunion though. So I'd never do that.
What, a school reunion?
Yeah, and he wouldn't want to see anyone. And I went, well, I said, wouldn't you want to see those two lads with the big heads and the webbed hands?
Oh yeah, these were people you went to school with, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't knock about with them. They were in the class.
What were they called?
Freaks.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And he said, no, I wouldn't want to see them. He said, because what could you say? Oh, you haven't changed much. Right. And he said, and they wouldn't go anyway, would they? I said, why? He went, well, they didn't have any friends.
Right.
And I said, well, weren't they friends with each other? And he went, no, that would have been too obvious. Like, they passed together and went, no, I know it's tempting, but let's not.
Everyone would think that's just what we were going to do.
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
Yeah. So they didn't even hang around with each other.
No.
See, I must say, in my head, I've got something like it's like some sort of extra thing from Blake 7 that they're like some sort of lagoon monster, but they just had slightly oversized heads, did they?
See, does your head grow? Your eyes don't, does your head? Because maybe they've got to a point now that it's all sort of caught up with each other.
Well, at the time, the eyes were very small and the head was huge.
Just a very big head. And
Yeah.
the fingers aren't going to change, that's not...
They had
not
webbed fingers.
It was like the penguin in Batman.
Really? Are you sure?
No, honestly.
Are you sure they weren't wearing mittens?
No, seriously.
Yeah, it wasn't home economics. They weren't getting something out of the oven, a very hot dish, were they? Every time you saw them.
But why were there two, but they weren't related and they weren't friends?
I don't know, I suppose it's like asthma and that, innit? Some kids have it. And it just was a
Yeah,
coincidence.
but asthma's quite a common thing. Webbed hands, Carl.
Yeah. I don't know, you don't think of it, do you, when you're a kid? You just sort of...
Oh,
when,
yeah,
when you first see them.
Yeah.
There goes the frogmen. Anyway, Carl, let's have a little quick session of White Van Man. For those that don't listen to the show regularly, the Sun, as you may know, has a section called White Van Man where a member of the public gets asked their opinions on the week's big political and social hot potatoes. Carl, we just thought it would be fun if you answered some of the questions. It's not so much questions, it's just your views really on these big news stories. What do you make of Olympic ski hero Alan Baxter testing positive for drugs?
What did he do?
Well, he won a gold medal in the Olympics, and
For what?
he was a skier,
Right.
and he won gold medal, and they've just tested him positive for some kind of illegal drug.
But what... if he did, why take drugs to ski?
Why?
Because all you do is balance.
But imagine, it'd be amazing if you were stoned, like going down a hill.
Yeah, it's not like you have
But
to...
it's not going to help you, is it?
No, it's
not
just
like...
gravity that's doing all the work, isn't it, with skiing?
Yeah, but it's often to do with your athleticism, isn't it? It's
No,
to
but it'd
help
be
you.
like saying, and we've just found out the people on the toboggan were on crack. It's not going to help them. You sit there and you go with the flow,
Yeah,
and you try and you hold
could
on.
I say, the drugs he was
Apparently
taking...
that's his defence,
Probably, it probably wasn't jacking up H or, dropping a few E's or getting stoned. He was probably taking more sort of,
Steroids.
performance-enhancing drugs, as opposed to him just, like, scoring some shit around the corner from someone,
that
getting
doesn't-
off his tits and jumping in a toboggan. Doesn't mean that, does it?
He wasn't off his nut.
Yeah. You tested you pissed out your head.
But why doesn't he just say, don't be stupid, why would I do that? It's just not going to help me out.
But it is, isn't it? Because performance-enhancing
Hold
drugs
on,
do.
wait a minute, Steve, wait a minute, Carl. Right, look at this way. Okay, look at me, yeah? Have I got his attention?
Yeah, the light's glinting off your ring there.
Yeah.
You're attracted to him.
Okay, right, now, keep concentrating. Right. Some athletes, you're aware they take drugs, that's to build up
Swimmers
muscle.
and stuff.
Yeah, swimmers. For
Runners.
example, runners, yeah. Not only do they help build muscle, right, but they can actually, give them a boost performance-wise,
Yeah.
sort of like steroids and all this sort of stuff, right? So that's the sort of thing we're talking about, okay?
Right. So again,
He wasn't
why
on a
would
bong
that help
before.
you?
What?
Why would that help you when all you've got to do is balance on skis?
Not when you're at the Olympic level.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with, you know, your body and your
No, it's
legs.
practice, isn't it? It's like if you've skied for years, then you've got good balance after a bit.
Oh, do you know what, Carl? Do you know what? You've made a mockery of drug taking. Well done.
Yeah.
Right, next one, Steve.
I hate this bit. I hate this.
I don't know if you saw it. What did you make of Posh Spice's warts and all documentary?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it.
What did you make of it?
I mean, people are slagging them off, aren't they? Saying, you know, she's daft and that, but
Don't make you.
she's. I think they're all right, honestly.
Yeah,
you
I think
know,
they're all right.
she's all right. I mean, I think David's really a decent bloke.
Sure.
Would
Would you agree that he's quite a simple man?
Yeah, but he's a footballer. He doesn't need to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all right, I only got an E in history, but knowing about the Tudors doesn't help me press these buttons and put the next CD on.
No, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So good luck to him, and he's done well out of it. And it's just
Yeah.
jealousy.
Yeah.
I remember though, when I was back in Manchester, I was in Piccadilly train station, and he was there, right? Not as big a star as he is now.
Yeah.
Back then, but he was stood there, and I was so close to going over to him and saying, "Did you go to my school?" Because I recognised his face, but I didn't know who he was. Do you know when you sort of go, "Sure, I went to school. It's not the one with the big head."
Yeah.
But I do recognise him. Then my girlfriend got off the train, and I said, "I'm sure I know him." She said, "Yeah, it's David Beckham." And I was
Oh,
so
thank
close
God
to
for your
going over.
girlfriend. Does she get an awful lot of scrapes, does she?
She does, yeah.
Okay, what about the fact that the pension crisis
Sure.
is going to force Britons to work into their 70s, Carl? You might have to carry on working into your 70s before you can claim a pension.
I think it's a good thing. Because you see a lot of old people who look bored.
Okay.
And I honestly think if you keep your brain busy,
Yeah.
you'll live longer.
Yeah.
It's only when you actually shut down, right, that's when your body sort of dies because it doesn't feel it has a purpose. It's like if you've got flu, keep going to work. If you have a day off, you just feel worse. You'll mope about at home. Doesn't do you any good.
What about
whatsoever.
where do you draw the line then? What if you say lose a finger? Pop into work?
Depends. If you can't concentrate because it's painful,
But what if you're a typist?
Or
you're not going to
pianist?
type as many words, but you'll do more at work than you would having a day off at home.
Sure. Okay. Tony Blair turning trendy with his Paul Smith designed naked lady shirt. I don't know if you've seen this. It's the one with the pictures of naked ladies on the cuffs.
And, you know, I mean...
Okay. And finally...
how's that, see, this is what annoys me about this feature. It's just, what's that? So what?
Yeah, but it's the Prime Minister of this country wearing a trendy shirt with naked ladies on the cuffs.
Alright.
Okay. And finally, what do you make of the fact that Top of the Pops have banned Will Young singing both tracks on the #1 slot, and consequently he wasn't on there at all? They had to show the video. The first time anyone's ever made this demand. He wants to sing both the A and B side.
Well, he
It's
can't.
it's double A, yeah.
Double A
it's-
side.
That's what he wanted to.
That isn't how it works, is it?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And the thing is, which one... I mean, at the end of the day, loads of people have bought it, haven't they? And it's
Yes.
like one of the
Yes.
best... So it doesn't really matter what it does, because people have got it, they can listen to what song they want at home. Doesn't matter about what Top of the Pops do.
Yes.
And it's just annoyed me now. It's...
Who's annoyed you?
Just what goes on in the world. I'll tell you, you're better off not knowing. It's better being in my little world. If that's what people are talking about on the streets and asking the white van man, do you know what I mean?
I think you're right, Carl. I think you're right.
Jeez.
Shall I play a lovely song for you? Because you're getting all stressed now, aren't you?
I've not had a good day.
No, I know. We tell you about it later. It's not a good day. Well, I'm going to play a Neil Young track here of Harvest. It's Alabama. It's beautiful, and this is for Carl.